they never mention the dangers of it. Like, we don't almost see anybody have heat stroke in their car. I haven't heard drivers say that. Or,
sorry guys, I lost service or something because all of a sudden the stream stopped.
I haven't heard drivers say that until this week. Got a heck of a storm brewing up here. I can hear the lightning cracking and thunder rolling here. So we're going to take a break. We're going to come back. Phone lines are open. Anything you want to talk about, and I threw some things at you, but it's been a busy show. Phone lines are open at 866-MIDNIGHT, 866-748-5263. You are dialed in.
SiriusXM's On Track.
Hey guys, welcome back. Sorry about that. I must have lost service or something. All of a sudden the stream just quit.
When the 95 shut down, that the odds of some news coming my way were a little bit higher. I didn't see it coming, and I got the call before the Michigan race weekend, and they were going to go a different direction. So a little blindsided. I knew there was always that possibility.
On Track, weekdays at 11 a.m. Eastern on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio, Channel 90. Football is back. The road to 2020 NFL kickoff presented by EA Sports Madden NFL 21 starts now. We'll be kicking off the 101st season of the NFL with the defending Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs. Taking on the Houston Texans. So settle in for the ride because the NFL returns September 10th at 8 p.m. Eastern on NBC. Brought to you by Verizon, the network more people rely on.
Smart shippers keep switching to Schneider for their recovery, and Schneider is ready to help with yours. Truck drivers, rev up your recovery with Schneider, a time-tested carrier with miles, money, and opportunity you can always count on. New regional opportunities, dedicated accounts, and expanded tanker and intermodal options are available. Search all Schneider driving jobs in your area, many with limited-time sign-on bonuses, and explore new remote driver orientation options at SchneiderJobs.com. That's SchneiderJobs.com.
Your golf ball is the most technologically advanced, or it's not. Your golf ball is either the most consistent, or it's not. It's the most trusted, or it's not. The fact is, it's either Titleist, the best performing golf ball in the world, or it's not. Prove it for yourself. Titleist, the #1 ball in golf. What will you play?
Were you prescribed Suboxone film for the treatment of opioid addiction? If you were prescribed Suboxone film between March 1st, 2013 and February 28, 2019, you may be eligible to receive money as part of the Federal Trade Commission settlements with the companies that sold Suboxone. To learn more, go to ftc.gov/Suboxone or call 877-545-0238. That's ftc.gov/Suboxone or 877-545-0238.
This Jimmy John's 24/7 coverage of all things NASCAR is found right here on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio Channel 90. Stream it on your phone and at home on SiriusXM connected devices and speakers.
Dialed in with Claire Belay.
Christopher Bell just announced as the driver for the #20 Joe Gibbs Racing Toyota of the 2021 season.
Stress is off for the time being. It's nice to know that I have a job for next year, but as soon as 2021 starts, it's going to be pressure on. Joe Gibbs Racing is one of the top teams in NASCAR, and I am fully aware that if I don't perform, if I don't win races, this isn't going to last long.
Dialed in, SiriusXM NASCAR Radio, Channel 90.
But certainly it's not this conversation, pandemic or not, we need to know, what the future holds. So that's certainly been a topic of conversation. We're continuing to work through that, navigate that. At the end of the day, it's a sport that's based on sponsorship and results. And, we are very much results-driven business, and it takes a lot of money to make these race cars go around the racetrack. So you just got to put all the pieces of the puzzle together, and I feel like we're getting really close.
Now, here is your host, Claire Belay.
It's so crazy.
Yeah, especially when their truck is named Victory.
And Kyle Milton is in the DC car. And my husband just walked in, and he gave me a flashlight. There's lightning and thunder going on, and he handed me a flashlight, and I said, "Are we anticipating a power outage?" And he said, "Yes. There's bad storms all around us, and I can hear it. So hopefully we will
told me about the 5 helicopters were at production. Well, I think I've been right because he did.
Yeah, it looks like we'll be there probably about 12:30, 1 o'clock.
Sorry, we didn't have any traffic.
I am the future, and I am now. I am a face you may
I think
not
Claire
know,
B just
with
lost
a number
power
you
at her
may not
house.
know,
I guess it's
but you
storming
will.
down there.
Trust me, you will. I'm going to make sure my name will be the one you'll remember forever. I am the NASCAR Xfinity Series on NBC and NBCSN. I am NASCAR.
The 2020 Democratic National Convention is on Sirius XM. Yes, I accept your nomination. Your coverage throughout the day on Progress 127. July was the conference of the people on POTUS, Sirius XM 124. We endure, we overcome, we always move forward. And on the Sirius XM news channels, channels 114 to 118. That's who we are. The 2020 Democratic National Convention, all this week on Sirius XM.
Makes me feel a little bit better knowing we're not going to be the only ones sitting out there in that parking lot.
We never stop working to get you
I
the
didn't care.
information you need. From the caucuses to the conventions to election night and beyond.
We're there for you, uncovering the stories that shape the race, tracking the candidates, and moments that matter most.
Because this election will decide the fate of our nation.
And the future of the world.
Democracy 2020. It's in your hands. Fox News. America is watching.
Baseball fans, join former General Manager Jim Duquette and Mike Farron on MLB Network Radio's Power Alley. They're discussing the biggest baseball headlines and stories of the day and talking to players and executives from around the league. Plus, taking your calls all morning long. It's Power Alley, weekdays on MLB Network Radio, Sirius 209 XM89. Visit SiriusXM.com for showtimes. Brought to you in part by Dish. Tuned in to you. To learn more, call 1-844-CALL-DISH or go to Dish.com.
Hi, I'm Mike, Dish Network Service Technician. People call me the good news guy. I install TV's most powerful DVR, aka a hopper. It holds 2,000 hours. You want that whole season? Record it. Oh, that one too? Why not? This DVR holds a ridiculous amount of TV. That is some seriously good news.
Whatever your passion, record up to 2,000 hours with Dish. Tuned in to you. Recording hours vary. 2,000 hours based on SD programming. To learn more, dial 1-844-CALL-DISH. Have you been to a Burlington lately? They have incredible deals on amazing brands and styles at up to 60% off other retailers' prices. No coupons or sales, just fabulous values every single day. It's a treasure hunt with new bargains arriving all the time. And savings that'll surprise you. At Burlington, you get more for less. Whether it's back to school, work, or just back. Now more than ever, you'll love the deals. You'll love Burlington.
I am the one, back with a full throttle and roar. I am the intersection of chaos, karma, love, legacy, family, and flag. Back with one thunderous return. I am ready for you if you
Hey, if you
are
can,
ready
grab
for
that
me.
left lane.
I am NASCAR. The NASCAR Cup Series on NBC and NBCSN. Brought to you by Geico.
This is Bubba Wallace on Sirius XM NASCAR Radio Channel 90. Catch Sirius XM NASCAR Radio live and pull up your favorite shows anytime on demand with Sirius XM.
You are dialed in.
This is Denny Hammer. You want the story from inside the garage?
Chris Kmart, crew chief for the winning number 11 FedEx Office Toyota team.
Thank you.
Nicely done, Chris Kmart.
Yes, I was the quarterback. Thanks a lot, Claire. I miss having you here at the track. I hope to see you soon.
Of course you're dialed in. Here's Claire B.
And you get disconnected, but you keep on talking because you don't know that you're disconnected. And you like have a conversation 5 minutes. I mean, I do this all the time. Peter Giordano, the producer for Content, but if your phone gets cut off and you're talking and you keep on talking and you just don't even realize there's nobody there. So I'm on the air and lightning hit
I'm anywhere.
Hey, crazy, right?
Yeah, crazy stuff we get down here in Kentucky. I got a couple things that are real quick. He's going to Michigan. I'll call him out because he called in last Wednesday and I called in and made him mention. Chase Elliott won the race. Kyle Busch didn't finish. That's what I said. Remember?
Well, what happened to Mark in Michigan? We never heard from him, right?
I know, he's not going to call. Another thing,
for the hills. It's an unwritten rule, Randy, of Dial In, that when you come off and make a bet or predict something as strong as Mark in Michigan did, you must come back and grovel. Isn't that an unwritten rule? That's what I thought.
Yeah. Right. And prediction for this week, Chase should be in the top 5. I predict Bush in the top 20.
Bush in the top 20. Man, he had another rough weekend, right?
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think sometimes when you try too hard, and remember last week I told you the Bush brothers fly together on the airplane, and on the airplane they talk about...
They had conversations, yes ma'am.
Right, that they don't have practice, and that really hurts them. But at some point, they're going to figure it out. They have to. His head's going to be up against the wall. I don't know what you think.
And I totally agree with you. But Kurt's having a better season than Kyle. Think about it.
Yeah, they're very competitive, too. Let me just say that, right?
Yeah, but Kurt's running up there fairly close every week. It's solid. So,
yeah.
I don't know what's going to happen. But I appreciate your call. We got to get Mark on. Got to get Mark on.
Mark in Michigan. All right, here's what I'm going to do before I let you go. I'm going to let you speak directly to Mark in Michigan. Let's say he's listening out there, but he is so ashamed at his prediction that Kyle Busch would win and that Chase Elliott didn't stand a chance. Chase Elliott won this past weekend at the road course at Daytona.
Okay, and here's my response.
Go ahead, tell me, Mark. Go ahead.
Okay, Mark, my condolences to you, sir. That's all I got to say.
Your condolences. Why don't you call him a chicken or something? Tell him to call in.
I didn't want to say that on there.
You don't?
I'm not going to call him a chicken.
You may never... Listen, Randy.
Kick me off. Yes.
No, listen. You may never have a chance to give him a hard time. Because I can guarantee you, if he had bet you... Can we pull up Mark and Mitch? Oh, yeah. We don't have the clip from Mark that we could play again. But
so we played it last. Remember, he called not to call answering, and he made Kyle Busch this, Kyle Busch that. And I called that for him, and I said he wouldn't finish the race. What happens? Finish the race.
Well,
so, Mr. Mark in Michigan, find a new driver, sir.
Because if you had been on the opposite side of that, Mark in Michigan would have dragged you over the airways.
Yes, ma'am. He would have drilled me in the ground. Yes, ma'am.
Well, hold on a second.
Thanks for the call. I appreciate it.
Well, don't go anywhere. Do we have Mark in Michigan? No? Yeah, go ahead. Listen, let's go to Mark in Michigan. What's up, Mark?
The number one you're going to see this weekend, Rowdy Nation's going to go wild. Kyle Busch in victory lane. Chase Elliott shouldn't even be on there. The only reason why they had to put Chase on there is because he's the chosen one.
All right, I'm going to ask you. I'm going to put Chase Elliott and Kyle Busch together here. And I'm going to ask you and others, who finishes better at the road course at Daytona? Chase Elliott or Kyle Busch?
I already told you, Kyle Busch is going to win.
All right, that's Mark in Michigan. And usually around this time of night, we do the caller of the night. But as a team, we've decided we're going to do the non-caller of the night. And so the non-caller of the night tonight is Mark in Michigan. I just wanted you to know, Randy, how out there he was about it.
I don't. You go, Claire. You rock.
Thanks for calling in, okay?
You're welcome, man. Y'all have a great evening. Hey, be careful of that storm.
Thank you. As long as it doesn't knock me off air again, I think we're safe. We got a few minutes until the top of the hour. We got 10 minutes. 866-PIT-LANE, 866-748-5263. Well, I can tell you one thing. That Mark in Michigan, should he call right now, would get much less grief than if he didn't call it up. I don't have his number. You have 10 minutes, Mark in Michigan, to call. If you know Mark in Michigan, 866-PIT-LANE, 866-748 52.63. We thought Mark was quite out there and was wrong. We'll take some more bets tomorrow night. As we head to the Monster Mile this weekend, tonight I wanted to mention some things about it, right? We talked about the roller coaster, and it just stuck with me today. It's like riding a roller coaster. I've said that for years. But then think of riding a roller coaster 400 times in about 3 hours. That stuck with me today. I would be able to stand up, right? And 400 times in 3 hours. You fall into the corners, you jump out of the corners, you want to run around the bottom because it's the shortest way around. The driver who can get hooked up around the bottom and carry the corner speed does well, but that is easier said than done in Dover because the cars plunge into the turns at 170 miles an hour, and it feels like 300 miles an hour. That's what drivers tell me. The extreme gravitational forces the corners place on the car takes a toll on the car and the driver, right? And the driver. This is a brutal racetrack this weekend for the drivers, and what I want you to do is be ready to give us your picks tomorrow night as far as Dover is concerned. I mean, Jimmy Johnson is so great there, right? Mark in Michigan has not called to say how great Chase Elliott is. He's still waiting for Kyle.
I'm going to just put this out there. I think if Jimmy's going to win a race this season, it's going to be this week.
Oh, I'm a lot better compared to last week. Because last week we had no power in Iowa. We had that storm Lorenzo that hit us. He had us without power from Monday through Sunday.
But you got power back.
I don't think he can do Kevin Harvick too.
Sunday at 5:30 p.m. we have drawn all of our
But you got a generator.
Saturday. He's pretty damn good here too.
No.
Yeah.
Can't afford it.
Got a candle.
But no, we had a
I didn't look at the lineup, but I think Jimmy's going to be up there too toward the front.
What's on your mind?
It out. Anyway, let's go with the Daytona road course. I thought it was a pretty decent race from what I got to hear because I didn't get to see it on TV because I had no power. So I guess maybe my visual part wasn't all the same as everybody else, but then I got to see a little video clip that I saw on YouTube, which to me looked pretty cool, you know, so I guess I have a different opinion than a lot of people. I would love to see
Either way, Chase or Jimmy, it would be ecstatic if you won.
I think that it's safe to say that you can never count out either Kyle or Kurt Busch, but I am going to go with Kevin Harvick.
Oh, that's a stretch, Donald, in Iowa. You're going out on a limb there, huh?
He wins almost every race this year, so it's like,
there you go. And then you had this, we got to get the drum roll because he goes, and my pick is Kevin Harvick. Like it was a hard pick for you to make. But you seem pretty convinced. That was an easy
pick. But because I don't get my favorite driver to be the winner until I get home.
Yeah. I got a question for you, right? So,
yeah.
As long as it's
you know, you think about the teams and that NASCAR is going to mandate that they, 2/3 of the window area is a portion of the right side window will be taken out at Dover. Only they're trying to do that. You've heard a lot of the drivers. I know. Man, I talked to a bunch of them this week that talked about it. Did that stand after you? How long have you been watching NASCAR?
I've been...
No, that's the express lane that runs parallel to Interstate here. It's closed anyways this time of year. Not this time of year, but this time of day. It's something they do to alleviate rush hour traffic.
Window in the car, which is sealed up and they don't get the air in the car. When you heard the drivers talking about that, were you concerned for them, or were you like, I mean, you take a guy like Eric Amarola who's training outside, and a lot of them are, right? But you heard drivers saying that you normally don't. What did you make of that yourself? And now they're going to do something about it at Dover. Your thoughts on it?
My attitude is that we're the NASCAR fans. We're sitting in the fans. We're not in the cars. So in that instance, NASCAR needs to really pay attention to the drivers about their health and their safety, and if something is negatively impacting them, they need to take immediate action.
I think that we're going to see after this weekend that it seems like they are listening to the drivers, because the drivers, most of them said, we have been talking to NASCAR and we've been telling NASCAR how we feel about this. And I would expect that they don't want anyone to get hurt in the car. They don't want anybody to keel over and have heat stroke or something in the car. So I think that this might work this weekend, but to everything you do, there's a reaction somewhere else. You know, they're going to have to really enforce that and inspect it and whatnot. So I appreciate your take, and you take care of Iowa. I'm glad you got your power back, all right?
All right, thank you. God bless you.
Oh, back at you. Thank you. We're going to take it right to the end of the show.
Guys would get out of the middle lane. I don't know what it is tonight. All of them ride in the middle lane.
And it's going to be a busy day tomorrow, so you got to tune in to Dialed In tomorrow night. Today was crazy. I mean, every time I was talking to somebody, there'd be another development in a story. And I think that this Kyle Larson story is interesting. He has not said yet that he has asked that he be allowed and reinstated into NASCAR. So we'll wait till he officially says that, but there are conversations going on, and I don't know how much of what Kyle has asked NASCAR, what is it that I need to do? And NASCAR has said to me that it's more than just community service, which he has done. I don't know what else he has to do that's on their list before they give him the okay. And I get the idea he might not want to say he's asked for reinstatement until he knows exactly what he has to do and he checks off the boxes and gets it done. I don't know. I don't want to put words in his mouth. But that's the story of the day, as well as the window opening mandated by NASCAR, so the drivers will be cooler. It's not going to be as hot as we go to Dover this weekend. Gary's in Indiana. How are you, Gary?
Hey, how you doing, Claire?
I'm having a good night. I enjoyed chatting with you. I'm just thankful that the lightning that shut the show down, we're able to reboot and come right back on. So I'm glad to be able to talk to you, man.
Yeah, great. Well, I was listening and watching the race at Daytona. Don't the drivers now have air conditioner or real cool suits, much better cool suits than they ever had before?
They do. I mean, they have air that's coming into their helmets, but it's not air conditioning, right? And they don't feel, lots of them, that there was enough air circulating. And one of the drivers, I think it was, who was I talking to today? It was either Bush or it was Eric Almirola that talked about not wearing the booties and how the feet were not hot. But there just wasn't enough air in the car. Why are you saying that? Like, what are you getting to there, Gary?
Well, I just didn't understand where the heat was coming from. I didn't know sometimes the exhaust header will be close to the floor and it will burn your feet, but I'm not sure that ambient air coming in would cure that. Hopefully it would, but maybe it just need more insulation around the floor.
Yeah, there's all kinds of things that they can do, but everything you do relates to something else, right? Everything that you do relates to something else in the car, so they have to be really very careful. But I don't know. I can tell you that the drivers the solution that NASCAR was looking for is because the drivers were saying they were overheated. If you talk to people that are at the track and complaining about how hot it is outside, and then get in the car. I mean, Chris Buescher said it's over 140 degrees, right? The 3 of the hottest races he's been a part of was this year. And so the thing that has changed has been the right side window. Pretty clear indication that what's creating the heat that so many drivers are starting to be more vocal about is the heat's like 140, 150, and that's where it steps up. Some of them said they felt good after the race. J.J. Healy climbed out of the car. His AC failed. I don't know, it's not enough air they feel in the car, cool air, and they're feeling it. I don't know at what point you say it's too much,
Yeah, I agree with if it's all equal for everybody, then they do it. Of course, they couldn't do it at Talladega or Daytona because of high speeds, but I think on your shorter tracks, to me, they should have been down all along anyway.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens after this weekend. The proof is in the pudding. Thank you, Gary, in Indiana. This weekend, Friday, broadcast coverage of the KDI Office Technology 200. Truck Series race begins at 4:30, and then Dialed In will be on after the race Saturday, 12 p.m. Eastern Time for the Xfinity race, followed by Dialed In live, and then 2:30 Eastern Time, the Cup race on Saturday. Sunday, the Xfinity race at 12:30 Eastern Time, That begins at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time, followed by broadcast coverage of the NASCAR Cup Series race at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Busy weekend. Tomorrow night, 7 to 10 Eastern, dialed in. Thanks for hanging out on the cul-de-sac at Dialed In. Cue the spotter, and I just want to say this. Good night, NASCAR.
Make sure you are dialed in.
Sirius XM NASCAR Radio.
Channel 90.
Thank you, players. Nailed it.
Go beyond alternative and discover a world of emerging indie artists and groundbreaking sounds on Sirius XMU. A commercial-free mix of innovative music from bands, producers, and singer-songwriters, alongside classic sounds from the artists who inspired them. Indie Music Discovery is on Sirius XMU Channel 35, or listen at home with Amazon Alexa, Google Assistant, or however you stream in the house.
This is Matt Benedetto on your 24/7 home for NASCAR. Sirius XM NASCAR Radio Channel 9. Stream it on your phone and at home on Sirius XM connected devices and speakers.
It's official. Chase Elliott is now NASCAR's road warrior. We'll talk about that in the upcoming doubleheader as I am joined by PRA's own Alexis Erickson and Brad Gilliam right here on Fast Talk.
Fast Talk on the Performance Racing Network. Presented by Toyota. For the latest Toyota racing information, visit toyotaracing.com. Now, here's the host of Fast Talk, Doug Rice.
Well, the Great Daytona Experiment is in the rear-view mirror now, and we know that the stock cars can compete on the Daytona road course. Greetings, everybody. Welcome to this edition of Fast Talk. Doug Rice with you, along with Alexis Erickson and Brad Gilliam. As you heard the open there, Chase Elliott wins his second race of the year for the third time in a row. As part of NASCAR's road courses. And Alexis and I have been doing a little bit of research. We've joined some pretty elite people winning on 3 different road courses.
Yeah, I've been doing some.
Is there a rest area then?
Ready for the show, and I found an interesting stat where he's the only driver, in addition to Jeff Bodine, Rusty Wallace, and Ricky Rudd, to win on 3 different road courses. And I think that makes a lot of sense when you think about it, because for many, many years, up until last year when we implemented the road rule into the NASCAR Cup Series schedule, there were only 2 road courses in Sonoma and Watkins Glen. You have to go back several years to get a different road course on the other side. And so I think that that's probably where some of the other drivers, included in this stat, were able to get their road course victory. But yeah, I mean, after yesterday,
Yeah, it's in it or something like that. I can't remember what the hell it was, but yeah, I remember it now.
Chase Elliott is probably head and shoulders above most people. I'd probably put Mark Truex there.
Probably not going to be able to actually find parking in there to be able to park, but you can probably put one on
There's
the
no
shoulder.
denying the fact that he's really good at turning left and right.
Hard to argue that point, isn't it, Brad?
It's impossible. I mean, he is certainly the alpha dog when it comes to that. And I wish we would have had Sonoma this year. And I look forward to going back to Sonoma just to see what he can do. But we've still got a Roval race coming up in the playoffs, which is actually going to be a cutoff race, and that's going to be pretty thrilling. And I just look forward to it. I mean, his skill in a race car has really impressed me.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's at the scale house. It says truck rest area.
You know, sometimes just morose. When he gets into when he gets into that race car, it's incredible to see how much he's not afraid to put that car anywhere. And
It's been a little while since I've been up here, so I couldn't remember off the top of my head.
Showcase that on the Daytona Road course as well, and I thought that was so exciting just for watching race.
A little bit later on in the show, I do want to talk about the Daytona Road Course, the actual track, and get your impressions on that. And obviously the Roval here at Charlotte Speedway before the show, and maybe about the future of these kind of races at street courses and other things that could possibly be coming down the line. Alexis, the impact on the playoff battle would seem to be minimal in this race.
Yeah, because Chase Elliott was already, I mean, he had a win, and so he was already going to be in the playoffs. There wasn't any cut line bumping or anything like that. It looked like in the closing laps that maybe there could be, because there was 4 drivers, behind Chase was Denny Hamlin, who obviously has several wins on the season, but behind him was Clint Boyer, Jimmy Johnson, and a few other folks that, possibly could have moved that cut line, but that did not happen. And so, yeah, we have minimal movage.
I don't know how all these guy's got the bypass if I didn't get any kind of light at all.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah, probably move it. Oh my goodness.
Construction was reported on I-495.
That happens later in the show.
Yeah, that was a bad joke. Exactly. Jimmy Johnson moves up to, the first one that cut off, he's minus 25. He gained, I think, 1 point.
Gained 1 point.
On William Byron. Eric Jones lost, I think, 9 points. He's down minus 35. Then you have Tyler Reddick at minus 57. William Byron is up plus 25, and then plus 44 for Matt Benedetto, plus 66 for Clint Boyer, and Kyle Busch plus 100. But my goodness,
We're gonna break Kyle Busch and Jimmy Johnson's year down a little bit later on because they're a big part of the story, and you hate to keep pounding on them, but each week that goes by that they don't notch a win, that's another part of the equation. We've got this doubleheader at Dover coming up, and then back to Daytona, and then Brad, I guess after Daytona, and we get into the NASCAR playoffs, it's almost like sanity returns, and we have the schedule that we had at the start of the year.
Well, as Alexis pointed out before we started the show, Dover is not a doubleheader, it's a doubleheader, because we have 2 Cup races and 2 Xfinity, right? And then when we get into the playoffs, pretty much every single weekend, with the exception of the Roval, is a triple header weekend with all 3 top divisions in some form or fashion. There still are at least one more doubleheader Xfinity weekend coming up, and some other stuff. But yeah, for the most part, it's not. We're not in different places. We don't have anything crazy. We just go to just simply straight up single race weekends on the Cup Series.
Obviously, there's always a lot of talk when Chase Elliott wins. They put off the siren down in Dawsonville.
Are there any dinners around here?
His dad was very, very
they're inside the place here.
The room in front of that shop?
Yeah, you see this building right here?
You think Chase's personality is
There's
going
a building
to
right here.
to match his ability on the race?
Yeah, is there any more parking up there?
No, there's not parking. I'm going to have to swing in here and see what I can find if there's anything smooth.
And with no disrespect, he is really a nice young man. And you talk to him face to face, he's very engaging. I truly just don't think he's either not comfortable or is totally not interested in anything involving an interview and a microphone. And it shows. Now, maybe he'll have some sort of epiphany one day and say, this isn't that bad. But you can just tell he doesn't want to be there in those situations.
Yeah, that's what I was pretty much thinking.
I don't know if I see a change either, but I really
come in here,
because
swing back out. Hopefully you'll be out by the time I get back out.
I look at Dale Earnhardt Jr. and his progression, and you guys will attest to it because you certainly were in the places where he needed to give interviews more so than I was early in his career. He was exactly the same.
Yeah, we've had great conversations with Dale Jr. where he never looked up from the table.
I mean, he was the same for much of his early career, and then and I'm not exactly sure what it was, things in his personal life, what happened to his dad, all of these different things.
Well, you gotta love when there's cars
opened up, and he is
truck
now
parking
kind
spots.
of an open book, I think of, and he's a great interview, and maybe that will happen to Chase. I hope that it does, because I think he's somebody who, like Dale Jr., if he can get to that superstar status, can really push the needle and help move our sport forward. But I don't know. I don't know.
See, that's what I'm cheering for.
Yeah.
And I don't like to cheer for drivers, but I would like to see Chase go through that metamorphosis that Dale Jr. went through and become a butterfly.
He really did.
He needs to get out of the cocoon a little bit. You have a responsibility with this, whether you like it or not. Being NASCAR's most popular driver, it comes with a price.
See, I always felt that Dale Jr. was a little more of an introvert and uncomfortable in that role of being the face of the sport. Like when you're just talking with him face to face, out in the crowd, he could have fun. I mean, to me, literally, it almost seemed very classic introvert. Chase Elliott, I just don't think he's anything about that. I think he's like, I just want to go get in that race car and drive, and whatever, had a good day, it's great. And I mean, think about this too. His bad days, a lot of times, have been bad. He's gotten out of the car after a second place finish before he got his first win, and you would think that he finished last 3 times in a row. But he's never, you rarely see him on a high. His burnouts show some personality. Those are pretty awesome. But he's just kind of an even keel guy.
Because if things had broken right in the first third of the season, we could be sitting here talking about Chase Elliott with a half dozen wins.
I mean, we thought that was going to happen. I mean, at the beginning of the season, we painted Hendrick Motorsports, or at least I know I did, was having a resurgence. being back and Chevrolet and all these things, and that obviously included Chase Elliott. You know, and up until yesterday, I felt like they were struggling a bit. So, but you know, also it's a road course. We only have one road course in the playoffs. We don't have any more besides until we get to the Roval. You know, so how he'll fare in the majority of the races, you know, that come up in the playoffs, that's TBD.
Well, you got to make him the favorite when they come back here to Charlotte.
Absolutely.
He's the defending champion of that race,
Absolutely.
and he won it coming from last place in the final stage. Yes,
exactly. But he's got to get there.
One of the most remarkable stories I've ever seen. When we did that race, I thought he runs into the tire barrier and you figure he's done. Well, the car's not tore up. They buff it out, and away he goes, and literally passed every car on the racetrack.
Yeah.
But when he came in the very room that we're in now,
Yeah, I'm behind you. I see you.
Okay, I'll send this.
Yes. Send. Send it.
I'll send it.
Text Nate.
What do you want to say?
Yeah, that's funny. They'll do that sometimes.
Okay, I'll send this.
Text Nate.
What do you want to say?
Okay, I'm sorry. It's not funny. It's hilarious.
Okay, I'll send this.
Yep, that's right, Cannon. 95 in Virginia. We're south of the 495 right now. Had to stop and make a pit stop for my buddy Nate. Right on, all good. Well, since I'm stopped here, you know, for my buddy Nate, you know, I figured I'd check in with everybody, see how everybody's doing. Hopefully everybody's hanging out, chit-chatting, enjoying the ride. Sorry it's not too entertaining. Not as entertaining as the guy that called in on Moody's show today and told him that Jimmy Johnson is one of the most selfish 7-time champions that he's ever seen. You know, That was pretty entertaining, especially how Moody held back from destroying the guy, too. Right on. Yeah, we're 130 miles out right now. Probably get there about 1 a.m. more than likely. Yeah, especially when her power went out while she was on the phone. Poor Claire. I wonder if the wife's still here watching how the weather is there.
Great.
You want me to go in front?
I'll go ahead and take a quick.
Okay.
Be in any of the 3 right lanes.
Not in Dover, at the house in North Carolina. As Claire B was doing her show and power went out, she said it's storming in Charlotte. Well, I live north of Charlotte, and I was just wondering if she was watching still and how the weather was at the house. No, you're good. You're good. Don't worry about it. You're good. Misunderstood. It happens. Where's that at, Matt? 71 in rating. Is that up in your house area, or is that my house area?
Fucking Vestal won $917.
Yeah. You gotta put up a lot of money, though, to be winning stuff like that. I ain't got the money to waste or the time.
Yeah, sometimes he'll put in a little bit, but he knows how to work that machine.
Yeah. He must. Ah, Cornelius. Yeah, that's not the house, though. The house is Moxville, North Carolina. North of Cornelius, too. I guess you would say northeast of Cornelius. it's not got the Troutman yet, then maybe it hadn't got to my house yet. I appreciate it there, Dodge man. Thank you. Alright guys, we're rolling again, so I'm going to take the chat off the screen here, alright? So I can pay attention to driving. Relax, kick back, drink a Coke, eat some popcorn, nachos, Martinsville hot dogs, and enjoy the ride.